Hello everyone, this is G-Shock High Fashion Channel. Today I'm gonna unbox this new box, but what inside here is nothing related with the watch at all. Alright, let me open this thing up right away just to be quick because we have quite a bunch of things that I need to cover in here. Open this thing up and here it is, revealing this is the vintage Riseman. Very old model and very rare to get actually, especially in a mint or pristine condition as the one I got over. However, the one I got over here is not complete at all. It didn't come with the papers and the original box. So yeah, the only thing that I have is only the watch. So quick background or history check. This Riseman, the one I'm holding now, was released in 1997 if I'm not mistaken. The reference number for this Riseman I'm holding now is the DW-9100ZJ-1T if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And here it is, the backplate for this model, DW-9100. This guy was released in 1997, making it like 20 years old up to date. And that's why it's very hard to get one of these in a great condition. One being because it is one of the most sought after vintage G-Shock watch today. Today, recently in 2017, a lot of people are hunting this down, and it's very hard to find one at a cheap price or at a pristine condition. Most of them will be expensive or just totally destroyed. So either one of those. Casio started producing this in 1997 and the production of this Starfish Riseman in 1998, which is only 2 years rundown, and we only have 13 variations altogether, all simple models, just tiny bits of change in colorway. And then like 10 years after that, which is in 2008, Casio released the new version Riseman, one that we got today, one of the most famous one, and that was in 2008. The model number will be the DW-9200, and I believe that Riseman as well seems to be had ended production, I believe. So yeah, I'm not sure if there will be any more Riseman in the future at all, because most G-Shock watches we got today has way more advanced complications such as this guy. Casio seems to be focusing their technology on this or this or this, or this is a vintage piece as well if you are wondering. Down on the background history or things that you need to know about a Riseman family, let's have a look on this specific one I'm holding over here. Again in white and black colorway. That makes this video very much simple. Let's have a look on the profile of the watch. On the sides, we're looking at two buttons. Both sides have two buttons, however on this side it's very much simple. That is, look at that. The thing about this Riseman is the aesthetics. Look at it. They have two layer of casing, and the thing about the casing is that it's actually connected with this shock absorber over here, which makes this watch totally unique, especially when you trying to compare it with most vintage watch. I actually have one example over here. I'm sorry, G-Man, to put this thing away. So most vintage watches have this type of shock absorber, which is totally different parts from the bezel or the case, and this, however, is combined to one, which makes this watch even rarer to be found in a great condition. Because if you have one of this, if this thing broke, you can still replace this, or this thing broke, you can still replace either one of those, but in this case, however, if this shock absorber over here broke, you got nothing else. You cannot just find this overall piece simply like that, because this watch itself is very rare, only 13 variations, and they are sought after model. You cannot just grab this part that easy, let alone this upper bezel over here, which is one of the most rarer piece today. G-Shock in white colorway, light memory button over here, light button over here, protection and adjust mode button in white colorway as well. This over here, this looks like the alien tongue or the elephant tongue. Is the sensor region. You can see just like that. Let me zoom in a little bit to be able to show you guys. Look at that. You can see it in there, steel or metal part That is the sensor receiver for the atmospheric pressure sensor. This model is indeed twin sensor, which is a barometer, altimeter from this sensor, and also thermometer. So just two sensors altogether. Look at it. I mean, I cannot highlight it enough on how unique the shape or profile of this model is. Look at that. It almost is asymmetrical as well, similar to the Frogman model as well, which makes this watch very unique. And look at that again, Starfish Riseman. It have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pointed out shape or profile. That's, I believe, why people call it the Starfish Riseman, which makes sense. And I like the naming as well. Very nice thing. And we have this 4 parts over here actually being placed at the bottom as well. Look at that. So it's gonna provide a little bit of tiny gap between your wrist and your watch. And we also have this ring around here as well that buried down the back plate, so it's gonna be way more comfortable. Again, all this combined gonna make this watch nice thing to have. And again, I need to also show you guys the weight of this watch as well, because the weight of your G-Shock really gonna determine either the watch gonna be comfortable or not throughout the day. So let's measure this thing out. This thing all just weighed about 69 grams, which is very lightweight. A Rangeman weigh about 93 grams. And one of the lightest G-Shock I got over here, this will be the common one, the one that we wear almost every day, 69 grams. So both of these have similar weight. However, if you hold it on hand right now as I'm doing, you can actually feel that this Riseman feels somehow lighter compared to this. Probably because the weight distribution on this mostly heavy on this middle part over here. So when you put this on wrist, you're definitely gonna feel the weight on top of your wrist. However, when you're wearing this Riseman, the weight of the casing is not as heavy. I mean, the thing that makes this watch heavy is when you combine with the watch band as well. So do keep that in mind. Look at that, 69 grams, similar as 6900, but when you wear both of this thing feels lighter than this for some reason. Right, that's done on the weight. Let me show you guys some of the thing for the sizing as well, because this thing is very rare. I rarely seen anyone measuring this at all today. So let's have a look on the biggest part of the bezel. We are looking at 53 millimeters at the longest or the biggest point. Let's have a look on this smaller point. We're looking at 34 millimeters. Both sides were the same. And for the lug to lug, I'm not sure where's the lug, should be somewhere around here, I guess. Look at that. So the lug will be 45 millimeters. The lug width, let's see. Now the lug width is pretty tricky because it was buried way in there. So if you have an adapter or the watch band that size is 16 millimeters. So if you have any G-Shock, which I believe most G-Shock are 16 millimeters width over there, you're probably going to be able to replace this watch band over here as well. So that's a thing that you need to note. But however, for this original piece I got over here, the width for this part will be like 28 millimeters, which is very huge. But it is indeed tapered watch band, and it ends at the tip here at about only 21 or 20 millimeters width only, which is standard for G-Shock. It is indeed very big, but for G-Shock watches, that is normal. Let's have a look on the sizing for this shock absorber as well. So let's have a look. Let's measure this thing up. So this is gonna be about 26 to 27 millimeters in width for the shock absorber, and the length between both of the shock absorber, we're looking at 54 to 55 millimeters. 55 millimeters in width. So that is very big. If you have a skinny wrist, this watch not gonna fit you nice. But if you have, even though I have a skinny wrist, you guys should know that my wrist is flat and long, so that's why this thing gonna fit very well. I'll show you guys how it fits after this at the wrist check part of this video. For now, let's measure the display. So it's gonna be about +2, 27 millimeters, something like that for the display, which is great. And I guess yeah, let's measure this tip at the watch band over here. It's similar, yeah, 20 millimeters. Okay, done on the sizing of the watch. Yeah, I forgot the let's have a look on the buckle, because the buckle seems to be pretty big. It is like 30. Wow, it's way bigger actually. It is surprisingly big. And it is by Casio China, I guess. Yeah, by Casio China only. The one I'm holding now haven't been tampered in any way. I'm lucky enough to get one of these in a pristine condition. Look at that. I believe this is just synthetic leather, but it looks like leather, so it's still fine. However, at this part of the watch band, they are cloth or nylon, I believe, so it's totally different feels. The bottom part of the watch band is fully leather to give this a pretty much premium look, but look at that. No cracking, no sign of destroy at all on this part I'm holding now. I mean, I'm very fortunate enough to get one of these in this great condition. And even the band keeper is made out of nylon as well. Look at that. So that is interesting. The bottom part of this watch band also in leather, and that is how they connect the nylon there. Probably they just glued it on there. But yeah, this thing not gonna last you forever. You probably want to replace this to a resin or easier to get watch band instead. I mean, you don't want to destroy this watch band because this thing is very rare and you don't want to do so. You cannot get a replacement for this watch band anymore today in a great condition at a cheap price. So do keep that in mind. If you own one of this, I highly recommend you to replace the watch band instead. Don't wear it, or just don't wear the watch or beat the hell out of it, because this thing is a collectible item. You don't want to mess this thing up anymore today, even though this watch is made to be beaten up. Alright, that's done on the features for the watch band and also for the bezel, and the connector is actually in nylon, so it is very strong material over there. It's not gonna come off or break anytime soon. Unlike most G-Shock, they will tend to break over time because they're just resin. Moving to the watch face, we're looking at a very unique type of glass as well. That is indeed mineral glass, scratch resistant, but the shape is actually dome-like. Look at that, it's actually curved upwards like that. It's not just flat mirror like most G-Shocks are, so do keep that in mind. The glass on this aren't replaceable as well, so you're not gonna be able to find this anywhere. And one of the reasons they made it to be like that, because this watch is made to be worn or be used at high altitude. And if you look at most Gravity Master G-Shock as well, you're gonna find the same features being applied as well. So at high altitude, it is preferable to make the watch glass curve like that. I mean, somehow it has to do with preventing the watch from breaking. And it is indeed full digital and non-solar model. And we're looking at water 20 bar resistant there. Let me zoom in a little bit to be able to show you guys properly. And there it is. Alright, we have mint over there for minutes, altimeter, minutes over there, hour, barometer over here, altimeter over here, set, plus, minus, and we have some indicator over here. Each square of this will represent 1 hectopascal, and one same thing again, but in different colorway. Just gonna show you guys that each square of those will represent 10 meters at altimeter mode. So right now we are at home time, so this bar over here just representing our seconds moving in. You could show the day of the week, the date, and also the time, all on digital. You can change it to 12-hour or 20-hour 24-hour system as well. I will make a separate video to cover on the module for this piece actually. So this guy operates on 1664, just in case you were wondering. Stay tuned for that module demonstration video coming up in the future. However, look at the backplate again, since we are already here, you know. This is the Riseman shoulders over here, and this guy features this angel light. I'm not sure why they use angel, but my guess is that because you're gonna be flying up to the sky when you're wearing this, so probably had not something to do with that. probably the rise up to the sky, something like that. I'm not sure the story behind. By the way, at home time, what else we could do? We could turn on the backlighting on this and show you guys how bright the EL on this in greenish colorway. Look at that, the same logo again will appear as the backlighting, which is neat. And at home time as well, if you press this lower right button, the memory button over here, it will turn to barometer graph display, thermometer, and atmospheric pressure reading as well, which is neat. So you are able to predict the weather, check the thermometer at the same time as well. I mean, similar to most G-Shock we got today as well. Let me assess it. Look at that, barometer and thermometer at the same time. If I'm not mistaken, the measurement on this is off, always off, because the sensor on this model is like old version first, or I believe the first version. I mean, the Riseman and the new Master of G have the third generation sensor, which is far more accurate than the one on this. So that's why you're seeing the thermometer reading. Look at that, 33.9. It's actually 30.4 degree now, so it's way off. But you can calibrate both of these up, so don't worry about that. Just gonna let you guys know. I will cover that on a separate video. That's done on the memory. Press this lower left button over here to go to the first mode, the select button actually. Press it once, we'll go to the altimeter mode actually. So you're gonna wait a little bit for the sensors to start calibrating or start calculating. So my current height right now is 35 meters above sea level, but this information can't be trusted as well, because same reason this sensor over here aren't as accurate as the one we got today, but it's roughly similar or roughly correct actually. So the up here will be the altimeter graph change in height, and of course we are able to tell the thermometer as well, since just in case you want to know that information as well, because there is a standard at certain height the thermometer reading should be at this reading. So just that's why they add the thermometer at this altimeter as well, so you can tell the time at the same time as well. Up here will be manual. For manual information recording, you can press this button down here. That's the memory stands for. To record this information, press about 2 seconds. You can store this information right now. And let's go to the next mode, which is the recall. So here is where I could view again all this information. I just saved this now by using this light and also memory button. So you can toggle between that minimum or maximum reading. So let's see the latest or the recent information that I just stored in here. So probably this one over here, 30.9, 35 meters at stored at 10:03 a.m. in the morning. So you have maximum, minimum data, and all that. This watch could store up to 50 information. So yeah, press mode will go back to home time actually. Press mode again, we'll go to this here. We have 46 empty spaces left. Press mode again, we'll go to the recall mode of course. Press mode again, we have the alarm. So this part will be just standard alarm. This watch only have single alarm. You cannot set a specific date that you want this watch to ring. And of course this watch also have the signal. Press mode will go back to home time. Keep pressing mode, we'll go to the next mode, which is this stopwatch. Simple thing, stop and reset with the light button down up there. Press mode, we'll go back to home time. You need to cycle through everything again, and I believe this watch didn't have any countdown timer at all. So that's done on the function. That is all that you are able to get in this vintage Riseman. If you're aiming this from Yahoo Japan auction or from eBay or from any other sellers out there, at least you know what you could expect from this model. I will make another video to cover on how to calibrate the sensor or adjusting here and there, just to be more specific. In this video, that's about it on the functions though. Let's have a look on the wrist check. How good or how bad this thing gonna look on your wrist. I mean on my wrist. I have a 15 centimeters circumference wrist. I'm gonna wear it at host number 2 from the top. And pulling this over here, it's gonna stop right there because this part is pretty big. So let's wear it over here. It's pretty soft watch band and comfortable fit as well, and the weight is lighter. It feels light. So look at that. Since they have this shock absorber over there, indeed they're gonna give you guys a very great fit. And look at that. This watch is pretty big, But to give you guys a better idea on how big this watch is, let me compare it side to side as well. But after this, I'll cover it after it. First, I need to show you the wrist check on this. Look at that. The buckle on this is very big. Look at that. You have a lot of space here and there. Pretty wasted space. I'm not sure why they put that. And that's for the wrist check on this G-Shock. Look at that. Simple thing. Very big. I mean, G-Shock always big, even from the 90s. But it has a very distinctive, unique look, and there are no fake G-Shock out there yet that feature this model. So if you own one of this, definitely need to take care of it very well. It looks very cool actually for vintage lovers. If you are just into newer G-Shock that have all this rugged look on them, you're not gonna find this video interesting at all. Look at that. Look at how far G-Shock changed from curvy to all these sharp edges rugged here and there. You know, G-Shock like conquering both worlds over here. They change based on time and preferences. Alright, let's have a look on size comparison. Compared to the Riseman side to side, this how it's almost similar in size actually. But let's have a look on the thickness as well. They are both indeed thick. And let's see on the sizing from here. Look at that. Both very big. I believe this one is thicker. Yeah, I haven't measured the thickness of it. Let's have a look on the thickness. And this side we're looking at 16 millimeters. Yeah, that is not as thick. The Riseman is actually like, yeah, just 18 millimeters, so slightly thicker. So it's not that big of a watch if you are used to wearing G-Shock, of course. And you know, let's compare to my Golf Master. I need to compare to my Golf Master as well. This is my favorite. My Golf Master in this is way bigger. You can tell right away. Look at that, because this one is circle. This one is more like an oval shape. For the thickness, I believe they are just similar, or the Golf Master is slimmer. I mean, it's way more sleeker than this. And for the size and on the sides, the Golf Master is slightly bigger. So that's the one. Golf Master compared to the standard 1600 series. This is how it's gonna look like side to side. Look it up on top. Almost similar thickness. So if you're used to wearing one of this, you're definitely not gonna have any issues at all when wearing this. On this side, of course, this watch is way bigger. One of the reasons is being this extended parts for the sensor. But if you minus this part, this watch aren't that big at all. Okay, that's done on here. If you own a Frogman, you need to know how it looks like side to side as well. On top, the Frogman is way slimmer. On the side, I believe they are just almost similar. And nope, they are almost similar. I mean, Frogman also have this weird shape on the side, similar as this guy over here. So almost similar family for some reason. But you know, this guy is just twin sensor. This is quad sensor. This is triple sensor. This is a no sensor. Let's compare to this GE110 as well, just in case. I need to compare to all this G-Shock watch as well. Almost similar in size, and I have a bonus to compare as well. This guy almost similar. This is, I believe, also a twin sensor. I can't recall. Is this single sensor or twin sensor? I haven't explored this one yet, but this is the Skyforce G-Shock. You know right away from the watch band. Very incredible model. And here it is. They have almost similar features, similar sensor placement, almost similar. Have these 4 parts over there. Look at that. Oh, this guy also have it, but at a different shape. And the sizing for both of this is almost, nope, they are not similar. This Riseman is thicker because of this part is popping up. And from the size, I believe, yeah, almost similar. For the thickness, I believe the Skyforce is way slimmer again. Yeah, that's done on the sizing. For sizing comparison, Riseman and Skyforce. Very rare size comparison actually, if you're wondering. I haven't seen anyone comparing a Skyforce to a Riseman. Both of these are very rare vintage piece if you don't know. Okay, that's done on the thing about this Riseman. I really like this smooth finish over here. very comfortable. You can move around here. I mean, look at that, very comfortable fit. And pretty worrisome as well, just in case if I wear the watch too tight. I'm very concerned if I might break this part. If I press this too hard, I might not gonna break this. I might gonna break all of this as well, which is very concerning to me. So I'm most likely not gonna wear this as a beater watch. This guy over here in 1997, this guy was retailed at 28,000 yen without tax. This guy over here is like a grail piece, the high-end G-Shock in the 90s, very expensive model, and I believe this guy is still expensive today, even in the used market. Even if just single watch like this, it's gonna cost you almost similar price as the retail. So if you find one of these like at 10,000 yen, 15,000 yen, you need to grab it right away, because the pricing over there is very cheap, of course, based on the condition as well. And I guess that is all I got for you today. I hope you guys found this video useful, informative, and entertaining as well. For your future reference, leave a like if it does helping you, and also subscribe to see more contents like this in the future. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This is G-Shock High Fashion channel, and